Hello, my name is Lord Surtur, and Legion just had a major update. So I figured I would go over the patch notes and maybe give my opinion and take on it. This will of course be biased. So if you want the objective notes, I will link them down below, but you can find them easily on the EVE launcher. So let's get into it. So here are the patch notes. So there are some balancing issues, reduced the maximum number of drones that can be assigned to a character from 50 drones to 20 drones. Okay, so if you have a fleet or a setup and you have what people call a drone bunny, you used to be able to, a long time ago, you used to be able to assign a whole fleet, like 150 people's drones to it. So that's 150 times 5. That used to be done with ancient Dominic's fleets and such. It was it was devastating when you did it with like sentries, and there was one guy just targeting, and the rest was just. So that got reduced many years ago to 50, and now they are reducing it even more to 20. So I consider that to be a good thing. So they do list some of the concerns down here. So there are things that we really like about drone assistance. Yep, there's a skillful element of assigning drones to someone else when you are jammed, damped out, or out of range. That is true. But there's also some niche gameplay, such as assigning drones to an interceptor to decloak players at gate camps. Yeah, I did that and been on the receiving end of that as well, many times. Sometimes easy to evade, it kind of depends. You gotta get a bit lucky and know what you're doing. So assigning light drones to a dedicated anti-frigate ship in PvE, such as incursions or PvP. You can assign drones if you're doing some specialized task like logistics. That's really nice, yeah. If you're a new player, you can assign drones to your more knowledgeable friends and fleet mates so you can focus on piloting your own ship. Well, sure, yeah. We feel like dropping down to 20 drones will still keep most of these cool cases intact while cutting down on undesirable gameplay, like the old Ishtar fleets gate camping with sentries out. Right? Something comes through the gate, poof. Because they assigned it to what, an install locker that was sitting on the gate. Ah, here we go. Sentry drones increase signature radius on all sentry drones from 100 meters to 300 meters. That is like tripling. That is big. Like that's the increasing the signature radius on sentry drones to battlecruiser size, so that they take more damage from missiles, bombs, and Vorton projectors. They are also faster to lock and can be countered more effectively. Yeah, PvP, I don't disagree. PvE, situation. Armor rigs, this is a very important one for all the armor people out there. Change the drawback from armor rigs to be agility instead of max velocity. Now you will be going just as fast as the shield guys, but you will still be turning slowly. If you want to change your direction or align somewhere, you're still gonna be slower. New skill added, advanced armor layering. Grants 2% reduction to the mass penalty of armor plates per level. Okay, so they add agility, and they at the same time give a little bit of an extra way to reduce said penalty. Needs rank 5 skill for the armor layering there will be, so. Alright, yeah. Rank 5 skill, that's the time it takes to train it. But I still assume it's gonna be armor layering 4, mechanics 5, hull upgrades 5. Available in all Empire stations to purchase for 15 million ISK. Or more expensive if you buy it directly from the character sheet. If you want to buy cheap skills, buy them at the place they are seated or cheapest. Don't buy them from the character sheet. We've heard concerns that shield setups are dominating and armor doesn't feel great for skirmishing. For PvP, I've been out of the loop for a couple of years. Fair enough, but yeah, there was always the feeling that shield is for speed and DPS, and kind of the armor is more for electronic warfare and control, but exemptions apply. So let's move on. Encounter surveillance system side increased the range that players are unable to cloak in the main bank room from 150 kilometers to 500 kilometers. Okay, I guess that's to discourage snipers. 500 is a lot. Yeah, that's a massive change, cutting down on some frustrating gameplay where snipers could enter the ESS and then cloak into the side to ambush players as they come in. Marauders. Removed minus 70% micro jump drive reactivation cooldown roll bonus from all the Marauders. So no more fast jumping around. I mean, I gotta be fair, for missions and stuff that I do with Marauders, I never even use that. So I guess it's for the nullsec sniper Marauders or such. Yeah. So the Vargur gets nerfed. Specifically, again, the Vargur. 77.5% fall off bonus per Minmatar battleship level reduced to 5%. So that's essentially a 2.5% loss, nerf. Times 5, of course. So that's 12.5. Yeah, okay. Checking the math. Marauders are now unable to access the main bank room of the ESS. Okay. Marauders continue to be dominant and oppressive at smaller scales of PvP. I can see that, yeah. They're very powerful ships. They currently have incredible damage, high projection, a durable tank, and incredible mobility. Yep. We're making an adjustment here to rein them in a little bit while solidifying their roles as ships which trade mobility for improved offense and defensive capabilities, and making the Bastion module their core identity. So, immovable objects, essentially. We're making another small adjustment to the Vargur, because it's still an outlier. This set of changes should still keep them as Apex PvE and PvP ships. I will put that to the test, because this is, I believe, the second nerf in short order to the Vargur, specifically the fall-off. I'll have to see. The Vargur is my favorite Marauder for PvE and, well, mission running, for example. We'll see if that holds up, because I'm kind of leading to another one now. Maybe gonna pick up Paladin over Vargur now. Paladin still has the range. Vargur is kind of dropping down a little bit. PvP ship and PvP ships, and the undisputed kings of firepower and defense. Definitely agree there. But allow for counterplay opportunities when it comes to facing them on the grid. Additionally, we are experimenting by blocking Marauders from the ESS main bank room. This should hopefully lead to a more diverse meta for ESS engagements and allow other battleship and battlecruiser hulls to shine. I always welcome anything that makes the ships used more diverse, like make people change it up a little bit. If it's only one ship that is good at everything, or one ship class that's just so much better than the rest, that means there kind of is a bit of an imbalance in my eyes, or that the content needs to step up. It goes both ways. So the Bastion module, armor repair and shield boost amount reduced from 100% to 60% while active. So lower amount you repair. It added a new bonus, 20% reduction in cycle time. And this is important, capacitor cost for armor repairers and shield boosters while active. So the combination from this means that the way I see it is you'll repair more faster, more often, but smaller chunks. And because the capacitor cost also is reduced, hopefully it will end up the same overall, just in like smaller chunks that come faster. I like that. I mean, some of my Marauders, they repaired like half my armor in one cycle, half the shield in one cycle. It's fun to watch, but it feels a bit strange. This retains the current repair effectiveness over time values as now with increasing the capacitor cost per second. Without increasing the capacitor cost per second. That's, yeah, exactly. We are doing this to help improve active armor Marauders, which could sometimes end up repairing for most or even exceeding their maximum armor hit points when using Asclepion implants, yeah, boosters, X-type harness, yep, etc. Yep. I'm gonna skip over this a little bit because it's gonna be a really long one, and I expect I have a lot to go through still. So, oh yeah, this one, the multiple XLASB shield fit Marauders. Vargr again, come on. Give the Vargr a break. For PvE. PvP, I've never used the Vargr in PvP, so cannot say much about that one. So what are they gonna do? By moving some of the power of the Bastion module into cycle time, this specifically hurts ancillary shield booster fits, since they mostly just want raw boost amount to get the most effectiveness out of each charge and clip, rather than cycle time and capacitor cost reduction. Yeah, but I would say limit to 1 per ship. Just my idea on it, just limit the XLASB to 1 per ship. Nothing stops you from fitting a regular shield booster on top of it. But 1 XLASB. No? But I don't do balancing, so I'm sure you know better. And I mean that. So tactical destroyers, this is where it gets interesting. You can now enter the main bank room of the ESS. Okay, I didn't know they couldn't. ESS robbing was not my gameplay. We're giving tactical destroyers some roaming utility by allowing them to enter the ESS site. Like with Marauders, we are experimenting a little to mix things up. Alright. Now this is something I really am interested in. The Confessor. So, new defense mode bonus. 33% bonus to remote armor repairer amount. So big armor repairer amount boost, like more, and reduction in activation cost. This is a major boost to the defense of the Confessor. I look very much forward to testing some of these things in the Abyss. Oh yeah. I have a mission. Damage per level of tactical destroyer increased from 5% to 7.5%. May not seem like a lot, but we'll see how that translates to the real fits, like in-game. Because I suspect this is not insignificant. This will definitely make a difference. Max velocity increased from 230 meters per second to 250 meters per second. Does not list a mode. So that's base speed. That's big. Oh, yeah. This thing exists, right? Did anybody forget this thing exists? I sure did. No, I didn't. I was testing this in the Abyss. It was just performing really bad. New defense mode bonus 33% to remote shield booster amount. Wait, whoa, I missed this. Remote armor repairer amount. Ooh. So, it has utility high. So, put the remote repair there. Yeah, that's still gonna be massive. Yeah. Especially in the Abyss, where you can dual box them. So this is the shield version, and that's the armor version. So same thing. The Hecate doesn't get anything, it seems, and the Jackdaw. Well, the Jackdaw is fantastic, right? So damage per level of Tactical Destroyer increased from 5% to 7.5%, similar to Confessor. Max velocity increased from 220 to 240 meters per second. It's also like 20 increase. Both the Confessor and the Swipple are suffering a bit in usability. I didn't know that much about the Confessor, but the Swipple definitely agree. Oh yeah, the Confessor has a bit too much overlap with the Retribution right now, which has significantly better mitigation, while also having high damage with the range bonus. I gotta be honest, the Retribution, that frigate is a beast. The Confessor's only strength over the Retribution is the added utility, commonly used as a probe launcher. Agreed. The added damage and EWAR resistance in sharpshooter mode. Also, yeah. The Swipple has also struggled with new ships entering the game like the Thrasher fleet issue. Uh-huh. And buffs to the Stabber, Navy cruisers, and medium autocannons. Yeah. The Hecate and the Jackdaw are doing very well right now. Well, the Hecate you see flying around a lot with rails and like sniper fits and everything. So Jackdaw, well, they're, I don't know. I'm a bit out of the meta, so I know I use them for the Abyss, and a lot of people do. But they're also still very useful in fleets. They often used to be accessories to a fleet in a role of killing small tackle and having a defender launcher. But that is like years ago. They are some of the most used ships in the game. Okay, so we're giving both the Confessor and Swipple a bit more base damage and speed. Hopefully make them stand out a bit more. We're also adding a remote armor / shield booster bonus to them in defensive mode to give them some more utility to potentially open up some spider tanking fleet options in PvP and PvE. And that we're gonna test. The Ferox Navy issue. Medium hybrid damage per level reduced from 10% to 7.5. Significant. Medium hybrid tracking per level, bonus per level reduced from 7.5 to 5%. So it loses damage and tracking on top. Not one or the other, both. Power grid also reduced from 1250 to 1150, same as the regular Ferox, so there goes the advantage. CPU reduced from 565 to 515, same as regular Ferox. Ooh. Reduction in shield booster power and CPU requirements per level. Bonus improved from 7.5 to 10%. Oh wait, that is a buff. That is a buff. I'm gonna have to take a serious look at the Ferox Navy issue again. Because this is those are a lot of changes to one single ship. Especially like power grid CPU fitting is gonna be destroyed essentially. So I may have to restart on this one. We'll see. Something else to add to the list. Making some adjustments specifically to the Ferox Navy issue to address its dominance in the fleet meta. Again, fleet meta, right? Specifically, we are reducing the damage, tracking, and reducing the power grid and CPU that it has. Setting it back to the same values that the regular Tech 1 Ferox has. Then why is it the Navy? This should still mean it is viable, but make it harder to fit a 5 to 6 slot tank and a DLA. With DLA? Lost me on that one. What is a DLA? I know a DLC, but a DLA? With railguns without fitting modules. Damage link, drone link augmenter. Ah, wow. Why not make a shortcut for everything? At the same time, we are improving the shield booster fitting bonus so that it has, which should compensate active tanking fits with a fitting reduction to make up for the loss in base power grid and CPU. Well, we'll see. I'm gonna test that. Additionally, we know there are concerns about the dominance of other railgun ships that may just simply replace the FNI as the top meta railgun ship. With those being the Vulture, I consider the Vulture to be a very, very good command ship in that role. Like, but I do not look at the Vulture for damage really. And the T1 Ferox, Naga, and Rock. What's wrong with the Rock? You can't stop the Rock. It's a fantastic ship. Don't touch the Rock. So we're going to make some adjustments to all rails overall. I just have a sweet spot for this. I have a sweet spot for that one. Also, it doesn't have to be railguns, you can fit blasters too. It is fun. And unexpected. Medium and large railguns. Tracking reduced by 10%. Wait, all medium and large railguns? Optimal range and fall off reduced by 10%. Yeah, okay, that's something that I can live with. But even less tracking? Wow, okay. Railguns are dominating at all sizes, maybe in nullsec fleet PvP. But, I mean, PvE they're not. So we're going to reduce their tracking and optimal and fall off slightly for medium and large railguns. Slightly. Slightly is 10%. Okay. I find 10% significant. Medium railguns have been very strong for a very long time now, with large railguns have recently taken the top spot since the Viridian expansion, where we gave a significant buff to the Rock with a tracking and a rate of fire bonus. This will mean that most of the tracking speed bonus for large railguns got rolled back, maintaining about 3.5% of it, but they'll keep the rate of fire bonus they received. That's something if you can hit. We hope this means that large rails will land in a good spot between super dominant and considered weak. We'll continue to keep a close eye on the Ferox, Vulture, Ferox Navy, Shu, Rock, and Naga to make further adjustments if needed. Okay. Naglfar, my favorite dreadnought. I mean, vertical supremacy. What can I say? Mid slots improved from 6 to 7. Low slots reduced from 6 to 5. So, what does that say? You want to shield tank this? Or an extra grappler or rewar slot? I don't know, something like it. Or more tracking computers that can be fitted. Naglfar fleet issue. Mid slots improved from 6 to 7, low slots reduced from 6 to 5. Exactly the same. So improving the shield tank effectiveness of the Naglfar line, exactly, yeah, by improving the number of mid slots. This should mean the Naglfar can take advantage of the shield booster bonus a bit more effectively in high angle weapon setups. And open the door for stronger shield based and anti-capital turret dreadnoughts. While we do think we are trading some of the unique versatility of the Naglfar hull here, yes, I agree, because you are kind of cutting the armor version like a little bit. The Dreadnought meta has been heavily dominated by Revelations for the last half decade. Yeah, true. And the T1 Phoenix that the T1 Naglfar now shares a slot layout with. are both missile based, so we feel comfortable making this change. So same slot layout as a Phoenix essentially. Okay. The Sin removed 10% bonus to logistic drone transfer amount per level. Okay. Added 10% bonus to warp scramble range per level. That's an interesting one. Added +1 bonus to warp scramble strength per level. These bonuses only apply to warp scramblers and not disruptors. Okay. The Sin is a least used Black Ops. I find it ugly, but yeah, it's a potato. And the logistics drone transfer amount bonus is fairly weak. We are replacing this with a 10% bonus to the range of warp scramblers and then a +1 strength to warp scramblers. This bonus should make it a lot more desirable and makes more sense for the role of Black Ops. It is PvP ship after all. I've been abusing these things for PvE recently, and it's a lot of fun, but they are at its core a PvP ship. Black Ops is also really, really nice and really fun to do. We hope this bonus will improve the Sin's utility in drops by making it more powerful at holding targets, and give it a niche in super hunting. Interesting. Yeah. Any super that dies is a positive. I'm starting to wonder how much of this there is. Like, it just keeps on giving, and keeps on taking it as well. Apocalypse. Removed 7.5% large energy turret tracking bonus per level, so less tracking. Large energy turret optimal range bonus improved from 7.5 to 10%. Added 5% large energy turret damage per level. 10% reduction in large energy turret capacitor cost per level. Okay, so the Apocalypse, which was, in my eyes, a pure sniper battleship, will now be a very pure sniper battleship. Because the tracking bonus, which made it decent, is removed. So tracking, you can forget about it. Apocalypse Navy issue, removed the tracking bonus. Yeah, okay, I see a pattern here. Large energy turret range bonus improves from 7.5 to 10%. That's the same. Here. 7.5% large energy turret damage per level. This is better. This is like, that is gonna be the difference. Reworking the Apocalypse. There is a lot of competition for large energy turret ships with the Epoch Navy, Abaddon, Nightmare, Balgorn, Armageddon Navy issue, and Oracle all fighting for the same space. Armageddon Navy issue is debatable because you can definitely use other stuff here. Currently, the Apocalypse feels weak due to lack of a damage bonus, while the tracking bonus doesn't feel particularly strong because a lot of other laser ships are better in applying damage in practice, such as the Balgorn. Yeah, if you Apocalypse, the one battleship, Balgorn pirate faction battleship. Yeah. The Bargain is webs plus nude, yes. The Nightmare superior mobility and some tracking bonus, as well as excellent capacitor. Armageddon Navy issue, ranged nudes and can fit rapid heavies and bonus drones. Agreed. Oracle superior mobility, allowing it to get better tracking through managing transversal. The unique selling point of the Apocalypse hull is the optimal range bonus. Sniper, in other words. However, the damage is still underwhelming. The aim is to move the Apocalypse more towards a sniper attack role. In my eyes, it already was. Focusing it more on ranged damage. So we are removing the tracking bonus of the Apocalypse while giving it more damage. giving it a cap reduction bonus for lasers so that it doesn't hurt as much running a micro warp drive while shooting. I do have a micro warp drive Pulse Armageddon Navy, Apocalypse Navy issue that I use, but it does rely on tracking, which is now removed. We'll see. We'll see. And improving the optimal range bonus slightly. We feel that this should make the Apocalypse stand out more in the lineup of Amar battleships. And then, like this one, yeah, why do you have to destroy the sexy broadside? But okay, we'll check it out. The Maelstrom. I love that shit. High slots reduced from 8 to 7. Turrets reduced from 8 to 6. No. 8 turrets is what made it beautiful. Mid slots increased from 6 to 7. Okay. Removed 5% bonus to large projectile turret rate of fire bonus per level. But it gains a 10% bonus to large projectile turret damage per level. Okay, so if that adds up to the same, it's a good change. Why? Think of like consider your ammunition amounts. You're gonna fire like 10%. No, you're gonna fire a lot less shells at your enemy. Power grid reduced from 21,000 to 18,000. Oh. Don't make it as hard to fit as a Maelstrom, as a Hyperion, please. Because Hyperion is a pain for PvE. Reworking the Maelstrom to be a shield mirror of the Hyperion. Oh. This should help make it more viable as a small gang brawler and PvE platform. It is viable as a PvE platform, with the extra utility high and the extra mid slot, while also making it more attractive in fleets by being a bit easier to fit. With less power grid? With a pure artillery fit. Nah. Autocannon Maelstrom is also really nice. Like, that's what I really enjoy these days. Increasing the alpha capability slightly at the cost of some DPS. We hope this will make it stand out a bit more from the other Mimitar projectile ships like the Tempest fleet issue by leaning it more towards alpha strike damage and less towards rate of fire in fleets as an alternative option. It had really epic alpha damage, I must admit, with 8 artillery guns, but we'll see. And making it more viable as a counterpart to the Rogue, which you're definitely nerfing heavily with the railguns. Megatron Navy issue. How many of these are there still? Holy. Okay. Maybe I should go over them a little bit faster. Like this is so many ships, man. I'm gonna have to make notes and then go over everything very carefully. Okay. Megatron Navy issue. Tracking bonus improved from 7.5 to 10%. Added 15% reduction in armor plate mass penalty per level, which will now be agility based. Maximum velocity improved from 130 to 135. So faster. Less penalty for agility with the armor plates and better tracking. Yeah, okay, sure. Giving some extra tracking to the Megatron Navy issue to compensate it for the adjustment to large railguns. Yeah, because they're nerfing the main weapon type that you tend to use with this. Which will also mean a direct improvement to it with blasters fitted. That must be PvP. And adding a small speed boost and an armor plate mass reduction bonus to improve it for nano/skirmish armor fleets. This bonus has worked well on other ships like the Oneros, Eris, Catalyst Navy, and Executor Navy issue. Right? The Deadless are not escaping this round. Cenotap. Radar sensor strength reduced from 25 to 15. Armor hit points reduced from 5,000 to 3,500. That's a lot. Structure hit points improved from 6,000 to 7.5. Do they want us to hull tank this thing? Is that the idea? Low slots reduced from 3 to 2. Roll bonus to medium projectile turret and heavy assault missile damage improved from 100% to 125%. Okay, so more of a balls to the wall kind of ship. With these changes, max velocity improved, agility also improved, totals also gets a radar strength reduction. What this essentially means is they can get jammed more easily, and if you're combat scanning them down, their signal is a little bit stronger. Like you can pinpoint them a little bit faster. That's kind of what that does. We're hearing about complaints of the Cenotap strength from Wormholes. Well, I haven't been in Wormholes enough to know anything about this, and to a lesser extent from other areas of space where very expensive high-resistance ships are used at very close range around fixed locations. These fits allow the Cenotap to survive even with a 3-slot tank. Okay. In this environment, things like range and speed don't matter as much, making a set of adjustments to retain its strength in other areas of space where it's not as dominant, while adding more meaningful counterplay options to the Deadless ships as a whole. Reducing the sensor strength of Deadless ships to make ECM a very effective counter against them. This should hopefully allow more Wormholes to more reliably counter while preserving a lot of their strength in other environments, where it is very difficult to ever get close to their maximum potential paper DPS. ECM also is not very punishing in situations where you only have a dot on 1 to 2 targets, since as long as you get a lock every 75 seconds, you can keep up the damage with the breaching pods. Essentially you launch them and they put a dot on the target and the dot ticks for a certain amount, and you don't need to reapply because it doesn't change as long as it's going. Additionally, we are shifting some hit points from armor away into structure to make armor tank Cenotaps more vulnerable and taking away a low slot. Okay. We are improving the damage roll bonus and also giving it some extra speed and agility to partially compensate the potential loss of modules such as nanofibers and gyro/ballistic controls. Alright. Cyclone fleet issue. Max velocity reduced from 190 to 180. Signature radius reduction per level bonus reduced from 5 to 3%. I like this ship, and instead of nerfing this ship, I believe they should maybe do something about the Claymore. But the Cyclone fleet issue is a bit healthier than the Ferox Navy issue, but still overperforming somewhat. We are reducing the speed slightly and also reducing the signature radius reduction bonus to the same as the Hyena to remove some of the mitigation it has. Harbinger Navy issue. Power grid increased from 1550 to 1625 megawatts. The Harbinger Navy issue is underused. Agreed. So we're giving it some power grid to open up a few more fits. Interesting. So beams might become a lot easier to fit because they require a lot of power grid. Combined with the changes to armor rigs and the other dominant battlecruisers being knocked down a bit. Definitely did that. We hope this will make a more attractive pick. The Myrmidon Navy issue. Drone capacity increased from 250 M3 to 300 M3. That is like one extra set of medium drones in capacity. Now additionally gets a 10% bonus to drone tracking per level, just like the Vexor Navy issue does. So consistency across the Navy versions. Nice. Also, drone tracking is really good on, of course, drone ships. Still the least used battlecruiser in the game. Really. Because I really love this ship. I consider it to be really powerful, even before all the buffs. We're giving it a powerful tracking bonus to match the VNI and then improving drone capacity so that it has more options and is harder to defang. Alright. Tornado. Agility nerfed from 0.475 to 0.54. Max velocity increased by 25 meters per second. Fall of bonus per level improved from 5% to 7.5%. I guess we might see even more tornadoes of Cheetah and Dog, right? We've heard from frustrations when it comes to dealing with low align time, water speed rigged artillery fit tornadoes, windrunners. So we're making an adjustment to the tornado which should hurt it in this role but buff it in other roles. Yes, ganking is now improved. We are nerfing the agility enough so that it will be much harder to get an under 4-second align time on the tornado. To compensate for this nerf, we're buffing the base speed of the tornado and also improving the fall off bonus per level. The net outcome is hopefully that windrunner fits are less effective and can be caught more easily, but tornadoes that are staying on the field feel stronger. It's clear that most of these changes have nullsec PvP in mind. Maybe some low-sec, although I don't see tornadoes being used there that often. I might be wrong. Talos, max velocity improves. Underused outside of structure grinding and ganking. It is quite good in PvE as well. It's actually one of the best battlecruisers, attack battlecruisers for PvE, I would argue. The fact that nobody uses it, that's something else. It's not my fault. As I definitely made plenty of fits for this one. Demos, signature radius reduced from 150 to 120. Wow. I honestly didn't notice. But yeah, nice change. I like it. Yeah. Zealot. 5% rate of fire bonus replaced with 7.5% bonus to medium energy turret damage. So a damage boost. Oh no, wait. Rate of fire bonus replaced with damage. This is a very small damage bump from 33.3% to 37.5%. Yeah, damage boost is damage boost, okay. But will help the Zealot a lot more with cap stability. Yes, that was a problem. Since the guns will no longer be consuming as much capacitor per second. Also means crystals will last longer before they break. Exactly. Mamba, new roll bonus added. 25% bonus to drone max velocity. Okay. We'll take it. Yeah, nice. Maximum velocity improved from 245 to 255. That's nice, really, yeah. Mickey Ball, new roll bonus added. 50% bonus to small projectile fall off. Like, just added. Doesn't nerf anything else, just added. Nice. The Mamba and Mickey Ball aren't quite at the power level expected from a pirate destroyer. The Mamba's pretty good. and their current price point. We're buffing them up by giving them an extra roll bonus, which currently all other T1 destroyers and Navy destroyers in the game get. Fair enough. The Mamba is getting the drone speed roll bonus, which the Algos has, and a bit more speed since it's a bit slow. Mechibal is getting an additional fall off bonus, which will stack with its power level bonus, just like the Kizril. Keeps on going, keeps on going. Magnet Navy issue. Capacitor improved from 325 to 500. Capacitor recharge time increased from 180 seconds to 250 seconds. So more capacitor, but longer recharge. Heron Navy issue. Capacitor improved and capacitor recharge time increased. Same thing, more capacitor, lot more capacitor, longer recharge. Then again, they might add up to above though. Capacitor improved again on the Imicus, and recharge rate, capacitor improved, and recharge rate on the Pro Fleet issue. So essentially a boost to capacitor for all of these frigates. Since the Navy is scanning frigates, base capacitor mounts and capacitor recharge time to the same values as their Navy racial counterparts. Yeah, much higher base capacitor, yes. Slightly higher capacitor per second rates. Okay. This definitely is an improvement. Alright, and then we have the Skybreaker. An additional high slot has been added. What would you put in there? Like a cloak, a NOS, a tractor beam, remote repair? If you can fit it. I mean, undo the damage it does to its own fleet mates. Stormbringer, same thing. Additional high slot has been added. I'm gonna see if I can experiment with that, because I do use the Stormbringer in the Abyss. The fitting is just really tight, so nothing seems to change with the fitting. So that might be difficult to make use of that slot without giving something else up. Giving these ships a utility slot allows them a chance to escape their current niches and see more use in other areas of the game. Power grid and CPU have not been changed, so their new modules must fit within current fitting constraints. Yeah. Outpost construction skill gives 1% reduction per level in manufacturing time for items that require the skill. I don't know anything about that. I haven't done industry in a very, very long time, so I don't know what that really does. Manufacturing time, sure, but yeah. The minimum requirement to join the Pirate Faction Warfare factions, Angel and Goristas, has been raised from -2.0 to 0.0 to match the 4 Empire militias. That's nice, yep. If I wasn't -8 or 9 with both of them, then on most characters, then maybe I had a shot. Like, they all hate me for some reason. We are raising the standing requirements for players and corporations to enlist with pirate insurgency factions from -2 to 0.0. We are doing this to address concerns with team killing, AWOXing in the pirate militias, which happens significantly more frequently in the pirate factions than the empire factions. Alright, yeah. Insurgency balance. It reduced the base amount of systems needed to be won from 7 to 5. Increased the ambition modifier cap from +13 to +15. So winning 20 systems is still the maximum difficulty cap. I have not engaged with insurgencies myself. Increased the weighting of frontline and command ops systems for the insurgency FOB when choosing a system. for a new insurgency, so that it is more likely to choose those systems. Yeah, these things I don't know much about, so I'm probably gonna go over them a little faster. Increased the weighting of dominant control when a side owns 66% or more of the war zone, so that the insurgency FOB is more likely to choose those systems. If you really know what this means and everything, and you wanna educate me on it, feel free in the comments, because I'm a bit lost on these changes. Insurgency mining ambush sites. Increase signature radius of the hijacker taipans and the hijacker echoes from 25 to 80, so that they are much easier to track. Increase shield hit points for the pirates and Marauders battleship by 50%. Okay. Pirate tackle frigates had very low signature radius when compared to the ore tackle frigates and were very hard to track for both players and NPCs. Additionally, the sites were getting run a bit faster than we would like, so we're increasing the time slightly by increasing the HP of the battleships. Character resculpt update. Now we have it. Here is a scoop. It is now possible to swap between a male and female body models using a pilot's body resculpt certificate available from the NES. Does anybody even use these? Like, your character is just that tiny little box up there. Mostly, like, there was a time when you had like captain's quarters and your character model, it meant something, you know, like clothes meant something. Now, I don't know really, but as a part of the update, every Capsuleer receives a free character resculpt token that is bundled with the weekly 15,000 free skill points available in the New Eden store. Go get those. Every week for Omegas. This week, or rather, let me read the rest. This is normally an Omega only benefit, but until 16 September only, it is available to alphas as well. So 16 September, that doesn't just mean this week. Although until 16, nah, only this week. Only this week. So once you can get it. To go to the New Eden store and click on the 0 flex cost. 15,000 free skill points for free. Whenever you get given something for free, just go and take it. Capsuleer safety in high sec needs definitely a buff, but not the buff they're giving. Autotisian Lancers. Yeah, I did see the fact that they still existed. In the aftermath of a drifter crisis, the Autotisian Lancers no longer have a presence in high security space. Oh, so now they're gone. Okay. Forward operating bases. Forward operating bases that would previously spawn in high sec are now spawning in low sec and at a higher rate. Okay, so anybody who was complaining or saying that certain diamond rats are killing them and are being a bit annoying, that will no longer happen, at least not with the operating bases like the Blood Raiders and the Choristas, because that meant that there was a FOB in the neighborhood if you saw those rats. Missions and NPCs. Significantly increased NPC buy order quantities for the following commodities. Quantities? Were they limited? Rogue drone infestation data, neural network analyzer, sleeper data library, ancient coordinates database, sleeper drone AI nexus. Are those missions or are these wormhole sites? Okay. New contribution methods for freelance jobs. Okay, nice, more jobs. You can make more people work for you. Freelance jobs now include 3 new contribution methods, giving more options for corporations. Destroy Capsuleer. Project managers can now set up freelance jobs that reward destroying specific capsuleers or organizations. Okay, if you really, 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 really don't like somebody, put out a hit. I mean, that's what it is, right? I don't like that guy flying through my space. There we go. Now get paid for getting him. Remote boost shield. Earn rewards by boosting allies' shields through freelance jobs. Sorry, I just had like a random, instead of, I need shields! Contract. I mean, mid-battle. Sign this, please. Remote armor repair. Yep, rewards by repairing allies' armor through freelance jobs. Pochven. I lived there for some months, but I haven't done the PvE there. Smaller scale sites have some mechanical tweaks. All such sites will now appear within a Triglavian invasions opportunities page. NPCs within income scout fleets will no longer have mixed factions. That is nice. Yeah. Battleship NPCs will no longer spawn during the first wave in these sites. Moved NPC spawn locations to reduce bumping with the hackable container. Yeah, that can be awkward. Moved various improvements to how NPCs within these sites handle idling and swapping targets. NPCs will now make more consistent use of their micro warp drives, and a rogue drone battleship will now always spawn during the second or third wave of an incipient drone swarm site. Adding the sites to the Triglavian invasions page has a location visible at any range within the region. Separating income subfactions will mean there are less types of E-board to deal with per instance. Yeah. Lastly, battleships spawning in the initial wave could result in swings in difficulty and time requirements. And a battleship spawn is now guaranteed in incipient drone swarm sites. Rebalanced torpid sleeper hives distribution and rewards. Number of sites present increased from 3 to 6. Decreased optimal per pilot ISK payout to 27 million from 33. Decreased average number of stability telemetry commodities within the hackable container. Increased the optimal per pilot ISK payout earned with Convocation Watchpost and Income Scout Fleet sites to 18 million from 15. Okay. These are things that I have never engaged with before, so maybe I should look into them in the future. Far future. 3 instances of this site proved not to be enough to meet demand, so the number has been doubled. Alright. Rewards have been rebalanced to compensate for the greater potential faucet. So more sites, less reward. Convocation, Watchpost, and Income Scout Fleet sites continue to be less appealing than incipient drone swarms and torpid sleeper hives. Payout to the negative standings effects. Okay. Payout increase aims to reward those who are willing to put up with the additional dangers and standing hits. Optimal per pilot payouts for observatory flashpoint sites have been increased. Macro jump drives can no longer be activated within the lobby area of observatory sites. The failure timer will now only start after the initial guard NPCs are destroyed within the main combat area. Okay. NPCs within vigilance point sites have had a number of balance changes. NPCs will now utilize micro warp drives. NPCs will move more slowly when within their optimal orbit range. Inertia modifiers and mass values have been adjusted to make them more agile. Optimal weapon ranges have been increased and fall off range has been added. Weapon tracking has been improved significantly. Shield and armor resistances have been reduced. Signature radii for frigates, destroyers and cruisers have been increased. Signature radii of, how do you say that? For battleships have been decreased. Drifter officers within vigilance point sites must now be destroyed before the next wave spawns. Vigilance point site beacons will now appear within the lobby area instead of the combat area. Vigilance point site beacons will now persist after the site is completed. Vigilance point acceleration gates will now be accessible without a key after the site is completed. Yeah, I don't know much about these sites. Over my nursery groves have been partially rebalanced. Replaced the Triglavian survey databases when found when salvaging an overmined nursery nest with Triglavian salvage materials. So no more fixed stuff you need to sell to Concord or D&D stations on a fixed price, but instead you get Trig salvage, which you can use for production for Trig stuff. Reduce the maximum number of sites to 9 from 10. A beacon will now spawn in the lobby area when the site completes. Alright. Science and industry. Increased Metanox daily consumption from 3,600 to 4,800, from 150 hourly to 200. Decreased magmatic gas volume from 0.1 to 0.01. So they need more, but it has a smaller volume. Sovereignty. It is now possible to configure skyhooks while they are activating during the 30-minute window. It is now possible to configure skyhooks remotely through the My Orbital Skyhooks page. That is a nice one. Remotely. Wormholes. Wandering K-space wormhole connections have been added to C4 wormhole systems, so C4s get more connections, not constantly, not static, but more possible connections. S047 will connect to high-sec, and 290 will connect to low-sec, K329 will connect to null-sec. They will all be battleship size, so large wormholes. These wormholes will be significantly rarer than those found in C5 and C6 systems. Okay, so not super common. Z142 and C248 wormholes will now spawn more frequently. Scan levels for certain wormholes have been changed. Like, this is all very, very, very heavy into the details. J492 wormholes will now appear within wormhole systems. The goal for these newish C4 wormholes and increased frequency of Z142 and C248 wormholes is to give residents access to more content opportunities. In addition, those in C4s may occasionally lock into a direct to high-sec connection. That is nice, because that wasn't there before. Scan levels have been tweaked for both consistency and usability. Any wormhole that can appear as both static and wandering will now use different scan levels, so they are more easily distinguishable. I believe it's an overall nice change, unless you want to be kind of left alone, but if you want to be left alone, my idea is you don't take a C4 wormhole with double static. If you take a double static, you want connections, right? Information window descriptions have been updated. Messages for wormhole's destination, maximum ship size, lifetime, and mass stability have been simplified. Uh-oh. Do we have to relearn how it works, or simplify it? Lifetime in mass stability messages now include color for improved readability. Okay. Color-coded messages. A 1 hour remaining lifetime message has been added. Okay. So we've got more than 24, 24, under 24, and then 4 hours, and now 1 hour. 1 hour. Right. A Drifter wormhole destination message has been added. A C13 wormhole destination message has been added. Yeah. Improve the readability of wormhole messaging and remove an unintuitive barrier for newer players. Okay. Warping and spawn points within C2 cosmic anomaly sites have been adjusted. Targeting prioritization for capital escalation site Drifter NPCs is now much more varied. Value of loot dropped from upgraded Avenger NPCs has been increased to 50 million ISK from 35. Deep flow rift sites will no longer spawn within wormholes. Alright. Defect fixes. Rorquals, fax, and jumps freighters will now be blocked from sites which disallow other capital ships from entering. Oh, didn't know they could. The retriever is now not shown on the astrology skill as required for at level 3 like the other two mining barges. Fixed a Sunshine NPC showing up in the Serpentis variation of Violent Expulsion level 1 mission. Okay, a Sunshine NPC is accidentally like, oh, took a wrong exit. Fixed Angel Sentry Towers being used in the Serpentis rally point instead of Serpentis Sentry Towers. I'm not sure I even noticed. Localization, some typos, fixed some typos. Yeah, Pochven fixed the rare issue where a second Galente Dreadnought could appear within the flashpoint site. NPCs within flashpoints and smaller scale sites will now correctly orbit within their reward effective ranges. Drifter and Sleeper NPCs with remote repair effects can now repair their allies. So, that was probably a very long one. I have no idea how long it went. It just kept on giving. And yeah, I will try to put some limited amount of chapter markers down below. And yeah, so you can easily just go over every single block. Like it will be large blocks like ship balance, wormhole, Pochven, such. Like, basically the same as probably here, more or less, right? They did a great job at it for the synopsis here. I went through the entire list of patch notes instead of the quick synopsis. So that was it for today for me. So please like and subscribe if you want to see more. I will be around. I will be making more videos. You can also find me on Twitch and even Kick. I'll also be streaming on YouTube. But thanks for watching, and I will see you later.